And Ruby Rose from Orange is the New Black in studio with us right now.
Yeah.
That sounds good, doesn't it? Doesn't that sound good to have
very
you
excited for you to
as Ruby Rose from Orange is the New Black?
It sounds good. It sounds especially good in your voice.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you.
Such a familiar voice. It's kind of scary.
It's so much more feminine in real life, isn't it? So I just want to say, and I don't want to embarrass anybody here, but Sissany, I don't think I've ever seen you in this much makeup in my life.
You're so annoying.
But did you put makeup on today that you didn't have on yesterday?
I just want to make a good first impression on Ruby. Just make sure I look nice.
You look beautiful.
Thank you very much.
You don't need makeup, though. I can tell.
Oh, yeah. Neither do you.
But I have a lot on.
All right, I want to get obviously there are a lot of fans of your series, Orange is the New Black. And was this a show that you were watching before you were on it?
I love how it's my series. You're like,
well, the series that you're on.
My amazing series. Yeah. What was the question?
Is it a show that you watched before you were on it?
Oh God, yeah. I mean, I'm a human with eyes.
Right.
So I loved the show, and initially I didn't get to watch it as everyone else did, but I started seeing it, pop up on social media, and people went crazy for it, and I got, I think it was like a Friday that I started watching it, and the next thing I knew it was a Tuesday, and I'd watched the entire first season.
Yeah, you binge.
I thought there was something wrong with me.
Right.
I remember
everyone does it.
Saying to someone, "I've watched TV for 2 days. Am I okay?" And they were like, "No, it's called binge watching. You're okay."
I'm always curious to know about the sliding doors scenario. Meaning, okay, now you're in the middle of this pop culture, this massive zeitgeist show, but what was happening leading up to it?
A lot of tumbleweed.
Really?
Yeah.
There's a lot of waiting around?
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I had a really successful career in Australia, and I was really blessed with that and loved that.
And what were you doing there?
I started hosting MTV at about 19, 20, and then I got a radio show.
Nice, you should.
A lot more popular than
With
yours.
hair like that, you should definitely have a radio show.
No. And then I had, a clothing label, and I had a couple of my own TV shows, and I hosted the Winter Olympics, and did everything I could possibly imagine.
God, you're the Ryan Seacrest. You say yes to everything.
Yes. I was definitely a yes person. And then I got to the States and kind of, I wanted to take 6 months off, a year off. And once I'd done that, I went to announce my arrival. And I was like,
here I am.
Super dramatic. And I was like, I have arrived. And that was when the tumbleweed happened. And nobody cared. And I guess, it was really slow movements for me. I couldn't get a manager. I couldn't get an agent.
But even after being on MTV in Australia, you couldn't get representation here?
No.
That's so strange.
Did
they tell you, what'd they tell you? Why would they say no?
They don't tell you why. They just kind of say, we are not accepting anybody at this current moment. Please come back, which means please don't call us.
Yeah, don't bother us.
Stop bothering us. We don't want you. And then I decided to make my own work. So I had this short film in mind that I wanted to make for the last 10 years anyway, but I'd never had any time. And I was like, finally, I get to make this film, and I'll put it out to my fans back home. I had maybe 100,000 Facebook followers that I had accumulated over 10 years of doing 100 jobs. And I just thought it would be like a sweet thing to do. And it literally went so viral that we were counting, me and my fiance were like, oh, that's awesome. It's had 100,000 views. And oh my God, 200,000. Where did those come from?
Wow.
And 300. And then we were counting the millions. Like 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 4, 5, 6. And it just went on and on and on, and it went viral. And then I started getting calls from people for representation. But the most important thing I got was an email from Jen Houston's office, who casts, obviously, Orange. And they asked me and they asked me to audition for the role of Stella.
Why did they call you Justin Bieber?
I mean, you'd have to ask the writers. I think, you know what? There are some similarities, I can't lie. And I think, just like aesthetically, we have kind of the similar hair in that as well. And I feel like we're the same height. And then the prison
swap clothes.
is correct. The prison garb is very much like, especially how I wore them naturally, was like low crotch and like really low, and like with my very, very unattractive like granny panties that they give you because they're prison issued as well. Yeah. So I think Stella had a little bit of a Bieber kind of thing happening.
And I mean, you must have more tattoos than Justin has.
Yeah, so I'm far more hardcore.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, you're definitely more hardcore.
Yeah.
For sure. Do you have any idea how many, or they all sort of run together kind of?
I feel like they get less each year because as soon as they get close enough to each other, they become one. So at one point I probably had about 60 or something, and now I feel like I have 3.
Right.
They're technically.
They've morphed into 3.
Which one was your first?
It's very sexy. It's so sexy I shouldn't even say it on air. It's off the wall, and it's a tramp stamp on my lower back of a rose and something Celtic. It was super original.
I have no issue with that.
Pretty mind-blowing, and about 70,000 other people have the same one. Often people's mothers. It's so cool, these fans, they tweet me and they're like, look, my mom
has that.
I'm like, high five, Mum. High five. Cut to bathroom scene. I'm like, oh, that's weird. I'm in the bathroom. I'm naked. Okay, hopefully this is just a little flash, and it's like
It's a
a
long
full-on
scene.
dialogue. And I'm like, I remember making that call. Like, I'm just double checking because it doesn't say I get any clothes on. So am I naked for the whole scene? They're like, that is correct. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.